what's going on? It's your boy Brandon Berg, man. Just definitely want to get up on here real quick. I really want to address that Michael B. Jordan, you know, statement that he did about um, Black Americans do not have any folklores or any mythologies and stuff like that, or he really just shut it down, just saying we don't have no history, but slavery. And look now, what made it really worse for him was when people kind of like want to ask him or make him clarify what he's talking about more deeper in depth. He kind of just just said he just declined it and he just pushed it to the wayside. And to me, that wasn't really cool at all, because when you think about it, you're basically, you're almost like you're agreeing to um almost to a point, to some, basically to the mass of white supremacy or whatever. Like, we don't have no claim and we don't have any rights to this land, this country. And the thing about it is, there's many folklores that are basically black folklores that we have in our community. Just that, I think maybe the one thing is don't be taught as much, or is not showcased as much. Um, One of the famous black folklores we have is John Henry, who basically was a power driver. He worked in the railroad. Beat the versus the man machine. He beat the machine. Um, and actually was based on some evidence that it was the actual John Henry that actually did work in the railroad, that actually competed actually in this contest and won and became folklores. You have many other folklores that was very, very wide known. Like, you had um, um, Sojourner Weaver, Sojourner Truth. She was like a black folklore. She escaped enslavement. Then she came back and she sued her slave master, her former master, to get her other child from him, and won. And she came with "Am I a Woman?" That's probably one of the most famous uh, speeches in the quote woman revolution, of the American women revolution to date. You have Harriet Tubman. You have Nat Turner. You actually have, there's also a few others, folklores. Actually, one folklore that actually was actually co-adopted, had their own adaptation of the Disney, called Bear Rabbit. Now, I remember Bear Rabbit because Bear Rabbit actually had like a little show. He actually had a movie too called Song of the South in 1946. If I'm mistaken, I think Louis Armstrong was actually, I think he actually played in the movie, but I'm not, don't quote me on that. But um, Bear Rabbit was basically an African, a black folklore um, character. You know what I'm saying? He was more like a trickster and stuff like that. And you had the significant monkey, and the significant monkey was basically derived from Yoruba mythology. So it basically come from a West African origin, but it also was a representation of Black American as being a trickster, something like that. But and then you had a lot of Gucci's, from the Galas, and a lot of Gucci's, a lot of their storytellings as well, especially during the Gala Wars or the Seminole Wars. So you have many different types of folklores that was basically being talked about. Now mostly European folklores or even Asian folklore, it was mostly written down. When you had a lot of traditionally Black Americans at that time, some of them was still enslaved, couldn't really just read or write like that, so it was passed down orally. like most of our music was passed down orally, and so even the comedians today, as you will say, Eddie Murphy, even Cedric the Taylor, to even Cat Williams to an extent, to Bernie Mac to an extent, all the called Richard Pryor's, a lot of great comedians at the time. They also had some knowledge of the black. Paul Mooney had a lot of knowledge of these black folklores and used to incorporate these black folklores into their jokes. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of them, a lot of the stuff what they were talking about was actual folklores of Black American and some African folklores that they were talking about. So like I said, man, B Jordan don't know what the fuck he's talking about. I'm sorry, I'm not to lie because that's very dangerous to even say that. You know what I'm saying? To almost like it's like you already know it. It's like a coverted move going on to really to erase Black American identity and to almost eradicate our claim to reparation. I feel like I said we have rights and we have a claim in this country, and I think we need to definitely understand and call them out. And I'm kind of glad Black Twitter did go, did kind of call them out. But I want Black Twitter to not be too emotional with it, just to blow up. But just you can correct them, but don't be emotional when you're correcting them. Um, that's my intake. But yeah, man, to say we don't have no history, the only history we have is really slavery. That's to me that's you don't know nothing. It sounds stupidity to me right there. You gotta understand, this. Even during slavery, there were still revolutions and rebellion taking place. You have many rebellions going on in the Caribbean, and you have a lot of rebellions going on in the Americas. You have a lot of rebellions going on even in Central and South America. So, hell, you even have rebellions going on back in Africa during the Arab slave trade. So, you can't just say like black people wasn't just doing nothing during slavery. I mean, like I said, we had a history before, we had a history during, and we had damn sure we had a history afterward. Even though there were many obstacles that was put in place to eradicate us, destroy us, or to systematically and without a doubt oppressed. So, like I said, Michael B. Jordan, man, he gotta come. He put his foot in his mouth for that one. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't mess with dude like that. I don't really fuck with dude like that. So, but yeah, I mean, definitely with the shit he's saying with the DOS community, like myself and I mean, I'm highly pissed with that dude. That dude should never said one thing. If you don't know nothing or you don't know enough, don't speak on it. You know what I'm saying? Because somebody like is gonna bust your ass, and that's what happened. So, but yeah, man, we have a rich history. We have a very rich history. And yes, we do have very rich black folklores out here. Um, so definitely, like I said, man, I just really want to drop this real quick and just let you guys know. But yeah, man, him saying we don't have no folklores or legends or whatever he's saying, he's crazy. You know what I'm saying? All right, one.